Hey, what's going on, y'all? We're back again with the best of pro wrestling and sports talk, the best of sports and pro wrestling talk. This is at May and A&J, and if you want the best of both worlds, you want to be here for that. But of course, we're going to jump right into things, and we got to talk real quick about AEW's Jamie Hayter. Of course, hasn't been on TV much in the last couple of weeks, and I bring that up because, as we all remember, last time we saw her, she was actually in a storyline involving Julia Hart, where, of course, Julia Hart went as far as shooting Jamie with a bow and arrow and all sorts of other crazy shit, you know. And, of course, since then, Julia, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews have all rebranded themselves as Hounds of, I guess, the Hounds of Hell or whatever. I'm not real sure why. Of course, it wouldn't be one of these videos if I didn't mess up on that, but they're the Hounds now. We'll just go with that. And I gotta say, I love what we're getting from the three of them. It's certainly been nothing short of remarkable in terms of what each individual of that group has done for themselves. But focusing more on Julia and Jamie, of course, as we remember, the last match, which was the second of the two that they've had, Jamie won, picked up the microphone, talked to Julia, let her know, you know, you're a tough bitch. If you want to run it back for a rubber match, you're on. Only reason we haven't seen that to this point, Jamie's away right now, or at least has been away, dealing with visa issues, or her visa situation rather. And with that in mind, that's certainly understandable. Of course, that's just going to happen when you have international stars like this. They're going to miss time because of the situation regarding their visa. I'm pretty sure that was the case with Rhea Ripley sometime within the past year or so. I forget when it was, but she had to deal with that. Buddy himself has had to deal with that. I mean, it's just a thing, and it's nothing different. But I talk about this because Jamie has been featured a bit more prominently, along with a host of other women: Deonna Purrazzo, Taya Valkyrie, Harley Cameron, excuse me, Queen Aminata, amongst so many others, alongside champions in Mercedes Moné, and of course Toni Storm, Mariah May, Chris Statlander. We're seeing Megan Bayne, more Thunder Rosa, and the list goes on and on. I'm here for this. We need this for AEW's women's division, because you look at what's going on with WWE, specifically with NXT, you just can't go wrong with what we're seeing. They're getting a lot more time, and you just can't ask for more. We got an amazing women's world title match the other night on Raw with Io and Rhea, with Io becoming a new champion. Love what we're seeing here with AEW, and when Jamie's back, I look forward to her factoring even more prominently than she already has. That being said, speaking of prominence, no way we don't talk about this, right? Natalya actually had been revealed yesterday that, or actually over the past couple of days, that she would be making appearances for GCW. That's not all, folks. She's actually going to be a part of the NWA's Crockett Cup. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't watched an awful lot of NWA in recent months, weeks, or whatever. It's kind of been tough. It's just tricky, and it really shouldn't be, because you can see episodes of NWA Power on YouTube, so it's there. But in terms of making time for it, for me, it's tricky, because I'm still working to get TNA back into my watching rotation, and that hasn't always been easy. I was trying to do the same for Ring of Honor. I'm going to do my damnedest to make this a thing, especially for the Crockett Cup. Natalya being a part of this is huge. I mean, WWE isn't just having a working relationship with TNA, which I want to talk a bit about more here with our main topic. Of course, obviously GCW, they've got a working relationship there, just not as prominent and not as official, because you do see AEW talent on GCW as well, namely Marina Shafir, Jon Moxley, and others. I also have to point out the fact that the same has been the case with Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, but that's a subject for a whole other time. NWA, on the other hand, we can't really say the same thing there. I don't know when the last time I saw anyone from AEW or noticed that they were on their programming. But with this, Billy Corgan, I feel like he's done some good things. Has he done everything that he could to make NWA a strong product? I'm going to say no, but I definitely like that he's had them on the surface enough to where, they're there. And hopefully with this, it's actually gets them in a place to where people are talking about them more. And with a name like Natalya, you really can't go wrong with that. Looking forward to this, and I can't wait for the Crockett Cup. That said, something else that I can't wait for, of course, this week we get early access. Hopefully I'm able to get everything in place for me to be able to do this, and if so, live on Twitch, twitch.tv/ANJ Network. Just in case. Won't drop the link right now, but we'll see how that goes. Nonetheless, we got to talk about WWE 2K, and I mentioned the working relationship with TNA and WWE, right? It's got to be good when you know Abyss is going to be in the game. I mean, man, good old Chris Park, man. Shout out to him. This is just amazing for so many of the best possible reasons. I mean, there's not enough that could be said about this. Yeah, and I'm finding myself at a loss like I was for EO and Rhea. Who knew we were ever going to see this, Who knew? Who knew? I mean, if you came to me 5 years ago and said we'd be talking about a season pass and a WWE 2K season pass, where we're going to see TNA stars and legends to boot, I mean, I wouldn't have believed you. I'd have just been like, good luck with that. That's all I would have thought to say. And now, this is literally what we're getting. I mean, who knows? I mean, again, now that we've got things going with NWA and Natalya going to the Crockett Cup, I mean, maybe that's something that changes. I don't know. It's just crazy because you never would have seen anything like this back during the Monday Night Wars. You wouldn't have seen WCW characters in WWE games or WWF characters in WCW games and vice versa. It just wasn't happening at that point. I mean, I think there might have been iterations where I guess once Vince bought ECW that he introduced it. I don't really remember, but I don't think ECW was active in the same at that point. It's real hard for me to say at this point. I'm going to say it wasn't a thing, but yeah, it's a thing now. It's absolutely a thing now, and I'm so here for this. I can't wait to see this. Can't wait to see Abyss in game. You got Jordan Grace, who's of course now with WWE as a part of the NXT roster, and of course I got to imagine you're going to see others. I don't know the whole list off the top of my head. I just had to talk about Abyss here, right there. More with that. I just had to talk about Abyss. I mean, this is amazing. I love this. I mean, it's no longer a thing through community creations. We're getting them as an actual in-game character. Just so amazing to see. What a time to be alive. And with that, I'll leave it there. Y'all know what it is. Let me know what y'all think about this. Are y'all looking forward to Abyss and so many others? I know I am. Y'all know what it is. Like, share, subscribe. This has been A&J, and I appreciate you spending your time with me.